This WBTV high-definition program is sponsored by Time Warner Cable. WBTV News at 6 starts right now.
Now at 6, Elisa Baker pleads guilty to murdering her stepdaughter.
So many mixed emotions. I want to be sick, I want to be happy, I want to be angry.
Tonight, Adam Baker speaks exclusively to WBTV. Plus, a motion from the courtroom and a new question. Has justice been served for Zahra Baker? Good evening, I'm Jamie Bull.
And I'm Molly Grantham. Paul and Maureen have the night off. Elisa Baker pled guilty today to 9 charges, including second-degree murder. This morning, we were told she could face up to 60 years in prison. But this afternoon, a judge sentenced her to between 14 and 18 years behind bars. We have a team of reporters covering this story's many developments. Steve Onosorge was the first reporter to talk with Adam Baker after Elisa's plea deal.
But we begin with Sarah Batista in court for all of today's emotional testimony. Sarah?
Well, Jamie, we heard from 5 different investigators today. We heard details about why Adam Baker was not charged. Investigators say his story never changes. Odd as it was, it never changed. I want to show you video from inside the courtroom. One of the key pieces of evidence that helped eliminate him as a suspect came in a text message. Police retrieved deleted text messages Elisa sent to Adam days after Zahra was reported missing on October 9th. And in one message, she tells him she's putting Zahra to bed. In another message, she says she loves him and Zahra and not to believe what people are saying about her. But it brings up another question, which is how did Adam Baker not know Zahra was missing for nearly 2 weeks? Well, investigators say he worked a lot and he often came home late after she went to sleep. And he also said this.
Talked to Adam about that issue, and he himself even, I think, made a comment, something to the effect of, since May, I've smoked marijuana more than I've spent quality time with my daughter.
And after he testified to that, Zahra's biological mother, Emily Dietrich, just bent over, put her face in her hands. She was extremely emotional. And I also want to point out that I was sitting in the row directly behind Adam Baker, and as a lot of these things were being said about him, I saw him shaking his head back and forth. And he also said something which I'm not able to repeat, but essentially what he said was, that's BS. We're live in Newton. Sarah Batista, WBTV, on your side.
Quite a day. Sarah, thank you. This case has lasted nearly a year. Zahra Baker first reported missing on October 9th. By October 12th, Hickory's chief of police told us he believes Zahra was dead. In November, searchers found bones that were later confirmed to be Zahra's remains. And in February, prosecutors indicted Elisa Baker for second-degree murder.
Throughout this ordeal, Zahra Baker's father, Adam, has remained a controversial subject, as Sarah just pointed out. He was cleared of any wrongdoing, but still, questions persist. How did he go weeks without seeing his daughter and never wonder where she was? Once Elisa Baker entered her guilty plea, Adam spoke first to our Steve Onosorge, and he spoke with Steve again exclusively outside of court today. So, Steve, what are Adam's plans now?
Well, Adam's plans now are to take care of these unrelated charges that he has facing. He's facing obtaining property by false pretenses and some fraud charges. If he can get those taken care of, he's going to go back to Australia, he says, and take Zahra with him and lay her to rest. As for the people who do suspect him, well, even police suspected him in the beginning. Big time, they said. But as the evidence kept building up against Elisa, they said it kept clearing Adam Baker. Baker got his chance to address the court, and Elisa.
There are no words to explain the hate I have for you, or the hurt and the pain I feel every day for the loss of Zahra.
Baker says what happened to Zahra and the events surrounding the search and investigation destroyed his life, affected the community, and took away a precious life, a little girl who had so much to live for.
He robbed her of a future. He robbed the world of an amazing girl who I have no doubt would have changed the world.
Baker asked Elisa to come forward and tell where the rest of Zahra's remains are. Investigators have followed every lead but found little lately. Adam told me at least now he hopes the public will know he's innocent. That's what authorities said under oath today.
I guess the same as what you just said, that it showed I had nothing to do with it.
Adam still wants to know how Zahra died. Investigators do too. They have some ideas from bloodstains they found on the wall in Zahra's room, but boards they took for evidence don't tell them everything.
But as you heard today, there's only one person that knows, and she's not talking.
And the answer to that question, how did Zahra die? We may never know that answer. Now, as for Adam and his attorney, the attorney tells me he's going to try to talk with the district attorney in the next couple of weeks to see if they indeed can get Adam Baker's charges resolved. I asked the district attorney what he thought about that. He said he could not talk about any pending cases, and he left it at that. Reporting live in Newton, Steve Onosorge, WBTV on your side.
Thank you, Steve. Our team coverage continues on this story tonight. WBTV's Jeff Atkinson is talking with people in the community, many telling him they are outraged. He will have that tonight on primetime at 7 o'clock. Also, stay with WBTV on the air and online at WBTV.com for continuing coverage of the Elisa Baker guilty plea.
One person has died after a crash with a school bus in East Charlotte. Sky 3 over the scene about an hour ago. The crash so violent, this car here flipped over. A woman killed. This accident is still backing up traffic on Sharon, Amity, and Milton Road. The bus had 50 students from Devonshire Elementary on board, but none of them were hurt in the crash.
Police are searching for a gunman in West Charlotte. CMPD told us someone shot a man in the head here on Camp Green Street near Marlowe Avenue. Medic rushed him to Carolina's Medical Center. There's still no word how he's doing.
Tonight we're getting our first look at the plan to widen 485 in South Charlotte. The highway recently named one of the 50 worst commutes in the country. The state will make 485 4 lanes from I-77 to Highway 521, and then 3 lanes from Pineville to Ballantyne. Steve Crump just saw the plan, and Steve, I think the question everyone wants to know is, when will construction begin?
Well, Jamie, not fast enough, and in many respects, the state's already putting this thing on the fast track. They could see some relief beginning as early as February of 2012.
To the average person, it may all appear as boring stuff. Charts, projections, and maps. But to urban planners, it clearly demonstrates growth in southern Mecklenburg County. From Ballantyne to the South Carolina state line and west to Pineville, I-45 is at the brink.
The South Mecklenburg area is growing. It's going to continue to grow, even with the issues, economic issues we have right now.
The need for expansion is critical. At this point, it is jam-packed with more than 120,000 motorists today using this stretch of highway between I-77 and US 521. But it could get worse. One scenario by the state predicts the number could be close to 190,000 drivers.
There's just too many cars for the number of lanes here, and it's just the backups.
The price tag to make lane improvements is close to $59 million, and in a tight budget year for our state, the North Carolina Department of Transportation is expecting Washington to pick up the tab.
This is a federally funded project. It's an interstate project, and actually it has been accelerated from its past schedule.
Well, so far during this process, we have not heard those famous words, "not in my backyard," and we're less than an hour away from the official presentation being made to the public. Live tonight from Ballantyne, Steve Crump, WBTV, on your side.
All right, Steve, appreciate that update. Thank you.
If you look outside, we have some clouds in the Charlotte area, and on the other side of them, some rain, much cooler temperatures as well. Eric Thomas is in the First Alert Weather Center. Hey, Eric.
Okay, Molly, good evening. Just a few spotty showers around the area. I'm sure some people figured, you know what, I'm trying to plant my grass. It would have been nice to get a little bit more rain, but I'll tell you one thing. We are going to see a shift in the temperatures because of the shift in the winds to the northeast. In fact, a lake wind advisory out for the day tomorrow. You see the spotty showers now just not adding up to much. If you were looking for thunderstorms, we had them today, but they were up across the Virginia border. That front now moving through, but our chances of rain are not over just yet. We'll talk about that and that cooler weather coming up for your weekend in just a few minutes.
Eric, thank you. A bold criminal robbed a Family Dollar in broad daylight, but surveillance cameras were rolling. How you could help catch this crook next at 6.
And later, it's just a construction site now, but we've learned this field will soon be home to the most advanced movie theater in the Carolinas.
A lot of people don't have them, but a lot of people do.
Manners.
I'm Kristen Hampton. The good news is coming up.